So yeah, what I would say first, I know it's not huge numbers, but I mean online we got about 500,000 views. But even though it's not huge numbers, you know, it's a start, isn't it? We haven't seen a protest, it's just dedicated for students. So the main thing I really wanted to talk about before we get into some of the bigger speeches from the people who know what they're talking about more than me, is the mental health that, you know, has decreased due to this. You know, the drug abuse that's gone through the roof, suicide rates that skyrocketed, that they're blaming on when in reality it's not killing that many people. I mean, what, 10 million deaths and 100,000 deaths, sorry, and 10 million cases in the UK alone. That's a death rate of 0.86%. 0.86%. The average age of death in 2019 was 81. That increased to 83.5 in 2020, at the height of this global. And so we shut down the country, forcing businesses to go bankrupt, forcing people who are in domestic abuse relationships to be living at home where they don't have a safe place to go, because old people are dying. And it's sad to say, but old people do die. But I had a few things I wanted to read out here. Has had an extreme negative impact on all aspects of our lives. A mixture of online learning and the pressure from parents to get has caused mass amounts of young people to be forced to deal with mental health issues. In 2019, the CDC conducted youth risk behaviour surveillance and found that 1 in 3 high school students and half of all female students reported persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness, which has increased by around 40% from 2009. It's crazy. Suicide rate is through the roof, and so is drug abuse. I know so many friends who, you know, dabble with drugs, you know, young kids do that anyway, they experiment, but have now, you know, gone down such a dark path because they feel like they have nowhere else to go. Because they're locked in their room all day, doing nothing, online learning, paying 54 grand for 3 years of tuition, and spending the majority of it online. You don't learn from being online, you learn from being in person and doing it that way.
So, now, a lot of you have asked today, well, why are we here? So why are we protesting? What are we protesting for? And yes, now restrictions have ended, that is true. We spoke earlier, thanks to Piers Corbyn, about the Non-Human Rights Act, the Anti-Human Rights Act, right? So the new changes to the Human Rights Act and how important they are. Well, that's not the only thing. Students are still facing massive discrimination all across the UK. You've got, I think the university in Bournemouth Clodborough University is saying that you cannot access facilities on campus unless you. You've also got universities all around the UK who, for NHS students who are still telling them they need to disclose their medical status, and if they do not, then they risk the threat of expulsion, suspension, or whatever, right? And this is even though the Social Care Act 2008, the changes that were proposed were never made. They were never made. So NHS students do not need to be, and they never did. I mean, yeah, you can talk about common law you want. Unfortunately, from what I've seen, that doesn't work anymore. But it's true, we still do have fundamental rights in this country. Rights which are being taken away from us very slowly at a time. But they're being taken away slowly but surely. And this is why it's important that we come to these demonstrations. I mean, worldwide demonstrations, they do one every 2 months. If you guys go to them, very important that you go along, support local events and all of that. Imperial College London is the home of Neil Ferguson, who is a murderer. He's an absolute murderer. He is the reason that suicides have gone through the roof, that drug abuse has gone through the roof, and all the restrictions are because of this man. This one man, and as Fiona Diamond said, he is a, I'm not going to swear, murderer, right?
We all know.
yeah, you all know the words. But yeah, thank you all for coming today. I don't think there's enough of us to march really, but I really appreciate you all coming down. We're hoping to do one of these every couple of months. Hopefully next time we build up the numbers. We need to push, right? I'm on Students Against Tyranny official. Youth for Freedom and Freedom for Teenagers also here, and they've been a massive part in this, so thank you very much. And thank you all for coming. Cheers.